Okay, hi guys and welcome to the show. Today we are finally doing an update of my state of the collection video. I realize it's been long overdue. I've been promising this video for absolutely weeks now. I just had to get some reviews that I promised out of the way, and if you're waiting for the IWC, that's next week. I should have done it today, but unfortunately the person I'm borrowing it off has been out of town. But thankfully next week he's back and I'm able to get my hands on the IWC Portoghese. So next week I will be reviewing that. So in the meantime, I thought I'd do State of the Collection, long overdue. Of course I'll do wristwatch check. It's really full on summer, absolutely baking hot today. As you can see, I'm a little bit sunburned, but I've got the Squale 1521. I've just put it on the Coloreb, the Venezia green distressed. I just think it works so well. I'm not sure if you could see that, but handmade luxury Italian strap on the Squale. Yeah, it's a Swiss made watch, but it is Italian at heart. So you know, that beautiful bright colors, really having fun with that summer look. I know leather straps in summer is a bit of a no-no, but you know, during the day I wear something with rubber or a bracelet. At night time when it's a little bit cooler, it's a great going out watch. Oh god, I adore this piece. I will never ever tire. It just brings so much happiness to me. The azzurro, that azzurro just makes me want to jump in the Mediterranean. Anyway, so wristwatch check done. Let's roll the intro and get into this video. Before we get into the state of the collection, I should just point out a few things. This is July 2016. I do this about every 6 months. So if you're tuning in a month from now, even a year from now, just have a look at the date. My collection would have probably, well, I know it's going to evolve and change. It's got far too big. I have to let some of the pieces go, I think. And I will do a follow-up video also because obviously now it's good to see the collection as a whole and then reevaluate what my grail watches are, what my purchasing goals are, because I have ticked off, you know, a few short and medium term goals. My long term goal, that Lange, that beautiful, the Langmatic, still there obviously, but a long time away from now. But I have to change my medium-term goals. I'm thinking moon phase, and as you will see from the video, I got to get some dress watches in. So I'm going to get some affordable dress watches, some medium-term, possibly some high-end dress watches as well. So stay tuned for that. I will do a follow-up video discussing my grail and my plans and my collecting goals very soon. But today I wanted just to get all the watches together, get an idea what's in the collection. What's currently in the collection, and then helps me figure out what, you know, by seeing what you've got, then you can figure out what you need, what you want, and all the rest of it. Of course, what I need, that is, yeah, not the right word, because I mean, do I really need anything more than this? Not really, but it's, you know, it's our hobby. We love collecting. They bring so much happiness and pleasure. We just, you know, you gotta collect, right? Anyway guys, so without further ado, let's change perspectives and have a closer look at my current state of the collection, July 2016. Now, before I get into it, I should mention there are a couple of pieces that are missing, that are not included. And that is because basically they are back in my home in the United Kingdom. First and foremost is my Charles Frodsham, which is my solid gold grandfather's pocket watch with beautifully crafted, handmade, decorated movement. It's my only haute horology piece, something of incredible sentimental value to me. It's what started off my whole passion, and it really is the cornerstone and foundation of my collection. It's something incredibly important to me, my family, and horologically speaking, yes, it's not worth as much as a Patek or whatever, but it's just something completely unique. It's got the family crest on the back with the rampant lion holding the Crusader cross, which is also the logo of the show, and obviously because it started this whole thing off for me. And I actually keep it in the bank safe back in the United Kingdom, because obviously it's not, even though it does work, it's not something that you can practically use every day. It is a collector's item, so to speak, a family heirloom, so I prefer to keep it in the United Kingdom. It's never actually left the shores of my birth nation. But anyway, the next watch that is missing from today's lineup is the Orient Ray Raven 2, the black PVD version. Now, I've lent this particular watch to my good friend Federico. He seems to be besotted and completely enamored with the SKX, so I thought I'd lend him the Orient. He's never experienced, you know, he's a high-end luxury watch guy, so I thought I'd lend him the Orient, because it's just such an amazing piece. But it is in the current collection. The other watch, which is so dramatically different, is of course my G-Shock Riseman, which is, it's not a full ABC. I did have the Rangeman before, which is a full ABC, which is altimeter, barometer and compass, but I went back to the Riseman. I was gifted it by a good viewer, a good friend of the show. It's a great piece. It's small, much smaller than the Rangeman, perfect for my my girly little skinny wrist. But I love it. It's so tough and robust. I decided that because I've got two G-Shocks, rather than dragging them both back and forth to my home here and back in the United Kingdom, I'd keep one there. So I've always got something, because I use them, you know, outdoor activities. Also when I work out, I just have to wear a G-Shock. So maybe that's a good place to start. I should show you my G-Shock that I have here, and it is of course my trusty Mudman. Now you can see by the state of it that it has been look at all the dirt and grime underneath. I use this every single day. This is my workout watch, and it's incredibly dirty. I just love this piece. It's much smaller than your typical G-Shock. It's got this all blacked out look. I've added the bars on it quite recently. This is from a store on eBay. I can't remember what the store was called, but I did do a video about the upgrades. Just a really robust piece. I just love its military-esque stealth look. It's blacked out screen. It's incredibly dirty because, you know, as I said, I sweat onto this and bash it about every single day, and it's just a trooper, absolute trooper. So that's my G-Shock I have in the United States. We'll move on. I guess we should do chronographs. We'll do them in a kind of sub-collection. So I'll bring in my first chronograph here, which of course is my Brietling Navitimer. I talked about this recently. I've had it out for over 7 months now. I just did the 6 months catch-up video, technically 7 months now, but I just love this piece. It's I've fallen head over heels with it, even more so than I have with a lot of other watches. I'm still in the honeymoon period, and it's lasted half a year. Quite incredible. Probably my favorite chronograph at the moment. So yeah, we'll just move that down a bit. My second chronograph is another iconic chronograph. This is the Giugiaro, the Ripley special edition. This is limited to, you see there, 2,428 out of 3,000. I was going to sell this, but then the price has increased so much that had I regretted it, I doubt I'd ever find one again. So it's a childhood dream come true to own this watch. I love the Aliens movie franchise. I used to read the comics. I used to the Ridley Scott original is a beautiful. I think it's an art film. It really is. It's where art meets horror, really. This is obviously from the sequel with James Cameron. You know, all these watches I've reviewed, by the way, guys. So I've decided to keep it. I mean, the price has gone up by about 25% since I bought it at Christmas time. So I'd be a fool not to keep it for two reasons: as an investment, and also because if I change my mind, buying it back would, you know, I'd just lose out so much money. Even though I'd probably make a profit selling it, if it's increased in 6 months by 25%, this time next year, God knows where the price is. So very interesting piece, obviously iconic because of its the link with the Italian car designer. It's incredibly 80s. Some people absolutely hate this piece. Totally understandable. It really is a matter of taste and preference, but for me, it's just so unique, and it's just it's an affordable icon. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars and you have an iconic watch. I mean, Doesn't really get much better than that. Also the colours are just so cool. That burst of yellow, the salmon pink hands, something you'd find on a dashboard of a car. It's just, well, obviously it was a Giugiaro, but beautiful chronograph. Not everybody's cup of tea, but you know, I can't deny what I like. So I just put that there. So that's my second chronograph. Then we'll move on to probably the most iconic chronograph of all time, and that is of course my Speedy. This is the Speedy first to make in space. This is a little bit smaller with the alpha hands, the classic case with the crown and pushers not being shielded. I've reviewed this to death. I've also got it on the Omega buckle. I've put it on a beautiful Tudor French handmade strap in lizard grain just to make it more dressy. I wear this as a dress piece. I know it's a chronograph sports watch, but this is my dress piece, so to speak, my go-to dress piece. Just love it. It's smaller size. Having said that, I am still missing my Reduce and my Speedmaster Reduced, and I'm contemplating buying it back. Anyway, so there's my Speedy, another icon in the collection. Okay, my next chronograph is something I posted just the other day in the watch group, and that is of course Flighty, my little the SNA 411, the Flightmaster, or as I call it, the Flighty. I do give some of my watches nicknames. I realise it's very nerdy. This is a great piece, and I've had this for on and off for years, various versions of it. Screw down pushers, 200-meter water resistance. We've got a dial at the bottom. Unfortunately the hour hand is hiding the two hands. You can just see the two hands there. Dual time zones, solid beta quartz. You've got that nice 40mm size, just a great size. Oh, nearly dropped it there. And that reminds me, I have actually dropped this piece. I used to wear it as a beta watch. The Hardlex crystal, I mean, a lot of people, if we start the chronograph, it's got that sweeping chronograph. A lot of people knock Hardlex, but actually I've dropped this face down onto concrete from about 4 feet, and it's absolutely remained scratch free. Domed crystal there, the Hardlex domed. I like it. A lot of people have changed it for sapphire. I can understand that. Let's just reset the, oh, look at that. Oh, just gorgeous action to it. Yeah, it's a quartz, but you know, I think every collection should have a quartz. Also the dual time zone is just very useful, and it's lovely smaller size. It's actually small, just a flick smaller than the Navitimer, but perfect for me. Anyway, so yeah, that's another chronograph. So makes sense to have the chronographs together. So moving on, let me just see. I think I have one more chronograph. Yes, I do. I have, of course, the Skywalker, which is just an incredible, quite a rare piece I picked up from Japan, with some great features in it. And again, bi-directional. Did I say uni? Bi-directional bezel, same as the Flightmaster. Yeah, very unusual. It has this unique look. Looks great on the NATO. I just got it because it was just so cool. I had to see one. I never saw one in the flesh. Pristine condition, box papers, all the rest of it. So a very rare find. This is the rarer version with Skywalker on the dial. So very cool pickup indeed. Kind of retro vintage from the early 90s. Not something you see every day, and very unique. I just love the breakdown of the seconds on those two, on the red and the green display there. It's just very cool. In a minute that will empty out, you'll see the red background. Now there you go. Very cool. So yeah, another chronograph there. Right, moving on. Well, those are my chronographs. We should really do my dress watches, and I only really have 2 of them, and this is an area of my watch collection that I am going to be improving and expanding in. So first of all is my little Tudor DayDate, and unfortunately it's got a scratch. I've bashed the glass there. It's got a little scratch, but you know, it's acrylic, what do you expect? With the Rolex signed crown and Rolex Oyster Geneva signed in the back. I've even bought a buckle to match it. Recently put it on this beautiful strap just to make it even more dressy. I think gold works with so many colors. I really enjoying a gold dial, and it's got that lovely linen effect on the dial there. It's a vintage piece from the 80s, 83, the same as my birth year, so quite special. Almost sold it, but I think it would just been such a mistake. You know, this, especially this particular size, fits me so well. Very odd that it's a 35 millimeters and still has a 20 millimeter lug width. Quite unique. Also, it stops me pining after a Rolex DayDate, which, as you guys know, is extremely expensive, and it's not something I really should be spending my money. I'm just so broke at the moment. So yeah, I'm keeping this. It's a great dress watch to have, and I love that fluted bezel. I've always loved Datejust, and to have a DayDate is just something even better. Gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. I love it. Really fun. A little pop of gold is enjoyable, and the fact that it's two-tone with the case still in stainless steel makes it a little bit more robust. Drilled lug holes, which is just a pleasure. Even looks great on a NATO strap. So absolutely loving my DayDate. I think I did well to keep that. That's my first dress watch. It feels really odd not to have any watches on. I want to hurry up with this so I can put a watch on. Right, what's my other dress watch? Well, of course, it's the Seiko Saab. Put it on one of my favourite Collareb. This is the Venezia in green, just gorgeous. I mean, works so well with the black dial. I mean, what can I say about this watch that hasn't been said already? Phenomenal watch for the money. It has the look of a Grand Seiko, very high quality finish, you know, a great reliable movement. Yeah, of course it's not horology, it's not anything super fancy, but $400 or just under $400, you really can't beat it. Very classy, classic design. Probably one of the most successful watches on my channel, and I just adore it. It's never gonna go anywhere. Fun to dress up. 38mm size is just really great size for so many wrists, big wrists, small wrists. You know, with a dress watch, you want it to be undersized. This fad of having these giant dress watches, it's just so, just adore it. And that 50-hour power is a fantastic movement. It's not the most accurate. The Tudor by a long shot is far more accurate, but regardless, it's a great timepiece. Seiko really hit a home run with this. And the entire Saab and Saab line, hugely underrated. But the word's getting out there. You guys, you know about them now. So those are my only two dress watches. So you can see the chronographs really are dominant here. Right, so we should move on to divers, which is probably the next big part of the collection. In fact, let's just move this over a little bit. We'll start with the little Citizen. This is the Marina Militare. Well, actually, this is just the standard version. But between this and, oh, it's in the middle of a date change. It's not the correct time. But anyway, the only difference between this and the actual real Marina Militare version is they just have it printed on the dial. Exactly the same. So I just call it the Marina Militare. This is the Citizen NY0040. Oh, by the way, that's the Saab 033. So very unusual piece. It's incredibly robust. We've got hand winding, we've got the crown and this at this 8 o'clock position. Very unique. It's totally its own design, lovely smaller size, a very worthy competitor to the Seiko SKX. Not quite as legendary and, in my opinion, not as classic as the SKX, but a worthy alternative. I feel like a traitor to my SKX when I wear this, but a fun watch. Very fun, completely unique. Yeah, I'm just so glad I got a chance to review it. And anyway, check out the reviews, guys. So that's my little Citizen there. Okay, moving on. Of course, the Rolex Submariner, the ceramic sub. I bought one on my 30th to commemorate my 30th birthday. It's been a grail watch ever since I can remember. It's got one of the best, the best clasps ever made, with that glide lock sliding thing that just makes it a pleasure to use. Also has, in my opinion, the best bezel I've ever experienced on a dive watch. I went for the date version. I do prefer the cleaner look of the no date, but I gotta be honest, guys, I need a date. If I can, I prefer a date. That's the only thing that kind of throws me off about the Black Bay, which we'll get onto in a moment. It's a little bit beefier, more contemporary. I love the ceramic. I mean, guys, I've made so many videos about this watch. I don't have to tell you. It's a staple of my collection, a keeper. It's just a trooper. It's been with me on so many trips and adventures. It's gained a kind of veteran status, a kind of sentimental value that you just can't buy. Money can't buy. It's too important to me. And yeah, staple of my collection. So there's my Submariner, my Rolex Submariner. Okay, moving on. Another diver that I've just absolutely fallen in love with. And this, of course, is my Squale 1521. Oh, a little bit dirty there. Let me just give it a wipe. This is why I always use the gloves. What can I say about this watch? Well, of course, you'll notice I put it on the Hirsch sailcloth. This is a really expensive luxury. I just think it's so fun, the rubber and the sailcloth combination, especially on this bright coloured, the azure and the pop of orange. It's a watch I still love to this day, and I never get tired of it. I love its iconic case. It's a bigger piece, but it wears amazingly on the smaller wrist as well, because of that case. Squale have an incredible heritage to them. It's a brand that, with so many highly overlooked models, that really haven't been given enough justice. Something more of a connoisseur's piece. Yeah, it's a standard ETA, but I think for the price they do a bang-up job. By no means a perfect watch. I think the lume could have been a bit better, and the bezel is... I mean, this one they've actually upgraded the bezel in an effort to make it a bit better. It's fine for the job, but it's not the best. So it's not the perfect watch, but it has such style, such character. It's so tastefully done. I mean, yeah, I know taste is subjective, but it has so much soul to it. A sunburst effect on the dial. That azzurro, it's full of that kind of Italian flair and style and retro chic. You know, the high polish. I mean, I even like the matted ones. They're great too. But this, I just think, has a little bit more pizzazz, the polished version. That beautiful Von Buren logo. What a brand, what a watch. I'm never tired of it. It's a definite keeper in my collection. So yeah, that's the Squale 1521. Okay, moving on. Another iconic diver. Yes, it's the Seiko SKX. Currently I've got it on the black Crafter Blue. This is the Japanese version. I've sold the K version. In fact, I've got 3 set SKXs. Just sold the K version I used for the duel between the two, between this, the Japanese made version, and the Malaysian version. There really isn't a difference. I just kept the Japanese version because I don't know why. I guess made in Japan. It's a pride thing, I guess. But to be honest, they're pretty much the same. I mean, yeah, they got subtle differences like colours and all the rest of it. You can watch the video, but they're both fantastic. Hugely iconic watch. That cushion case, the heritage. It's a true icon, and you can't really find that many iconic watches without spending thousands. It's something very, very special. They just got it right, Seiko. They really did. It's an outstanding diver. Of course, not without its shortcomings. The movement is very dated, though reliable and known for going decades without service, and solid as a trooper. You know, we don't have hacking, we don't have many wind, but you do this thing called the Seiko card shuffle, right? And it charges up. There you go, it charges up. Really fun, very iconic, and just a pleasure to own. And I've had Seiko SKXs for as long as I can remember, and I just love and adore these watches. Okay, so the last diver of the collection, and that is, of course, the Tudor Black Bay Red. I mean, look at all the colour that's going on. I mean, I can see that I've certainly, brought the colour out. What can I say about the Tudor? Again, it's by no means perfect, but it's got a charm of its own. That Tudor rose, especially being British, of course, that Tudor Union rose. It's just so important to me, and that's why I chose this particular version over the in-house. The romance and history of what that Tudor rose symbolizes is very important to me, and also I like the text at the bottom. It's funny, we choose them for these most simple aesthetical differences. These things are really is what is important. I just love that textured dial. It's very subtly done. The gilded hands, the snowflake. Oh, it's a gorgeous watch. That domed sapphire, big crown. The only thing I don't like is this is the tall case. I think it could have been a little bit more refined, but anyway, I've discussed all this in the review. Great watch. Funny thing is, I don't miss not having a date on it, because it's just so fun. You check to look at the date, and then you start looking at the dial and forget what you checked your watch for. Gorgeous. I love the red as well. Really playful. I've got it on the Bond NATO from Wrist Candy Watch Club at the moment. Fun, lively. A lot of people don't see the point of spending this much on an ETA, but you got to try it before you knock it. You really have got to own these things before you qualify to really have an informed opinion, because it is worth it. The quality is there. You're getting the heritage. You're getting something that is special, and I think the ETAs will probably go up in value as they're replaced by the in-house versions. So in the long run, yeah, possibly a good investment. We'll see. Who knows? But yeah, very fun. Shame it's not a little bit smaller. I think it could have been a bit more refined edges on the case, and just a little bit smaller. It could have been absolutely perfect. But you know, nothing is perfect. Not even my Submariner is perfect. So there we go. Very fun watch. Absolutely love it. Really enjoying it. Worthy addition to the collection. So moving on, a kind of oddball. It's a pilot's watch. It hasn't got a chronograph though. It's obviously not a dress watch, and it's not a dive watch, so it's its own thing. And I've completely forgotten the reference. I'm so terrible with references. I just reviewed this, so you can check out the review for yourself. But I can't remember references to save my life. I'm not sure if it's my dyslexia or just my slow brain. But a recent purchase. Absolutely adore this watch, and I love it. It's a little bit beaten up, but I've matched it with the distressed collar, which I'm just absolutely loving. I think it just adds an extra kind of used vintage dynamic to the whole thing. Bought it recently from my good friend Federico. Yeah, I wanted a GMT. I've tried so many, never got the right one, but this definitely is the GMT. That Pepsi bezel. I've nicknamed it the Hoffman. In honor of Dustin Hoffman, who I first saw wearing this. I'm not sure if it was Marathon Man, or he definitely wore one in Straw Dogs. Yeah, he did. But I've seen him, you know, pictures, press photography pictures of him wearing this in real life. So I've nicknamed it in honor of him, the Hoffman. There we go. So in its own category there. And then another classic, iconic piece. The Casio F91W. I mean, a true icon. The cheapest iconic watch money can buy. Not even $10. I've put it on the camouflage NATO. Really fun. I tend to wear it on this hand while I'm wearing another watch when I'm Schwarzkopfing. The ultimate Proustian Madeleine moment manifested in watch form. Just reminds me of childhood. When I had this as a child, I thought I was the coolest kid in my school. I really did love this watch, and it's just so fun to, yeah, best $10 I ever spent, definitely. Okay, last but not least, the little vintage pickup, this Elgin that Federico bought. Beautiful manual wind, unusually Swiss made, one of the last Elgins made, very kind of late 60s, early 70s style. Still haven't bought a good strap for this, so I had to put it on a Bond, the old Bond NATO for the moment. I will find a strap. I just don't have any 18mm. I think this will go on a really nice crocodile blue strap, so I still haven't done that, but I will do that. Beautiful little pickup, recently reviewed, manual wind, nice and small, but great size, really fun size, fantastic. I mean, Federico spent only $30, so quite extraordinary. Lovely aged loom there, that pop of blue, just very cool, just something a bit different. But definitely another area I want to kind of expand in is adding more vintage pieces to my collection. Anyway guys, that's it. That's the entire collection at the moment. What are we in? It's July now, so yeah, it's been over 6 months. Let me know what you think down below. Let's take it back to the studio. So I hope you enjoyed that. I'm definitely going to be letting some pieces go, so stay tuned in the Facebook group. Obviously, my first priority if they're selling anything goes to my members of the Facebook group. So guys, there's a link to that down below. Let me know what your favorites are. What are your plans? What's your collection lineup currently? Please do share that down in the comments. I'd love to know especially how many watches you own in your collection. I think mine's got far too big. I am going to be trimming the fat down, making it a little bit leaner very, very soon. Okay guys, so I'm going to leave it there. Please don't forget to add your comments, queries, questions, thoughts, opinions, all the rest of it down in the comments. I love hearing back from you guys and seeing what you have got to say. Thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to hit that like button. If you enjoyed this and found it useful, it really does help me, so please don't forget to do that. And as always guys, I'll catch you in the next one. Okay, ciao.